Oh my god, I'm literally just getting off of watching episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. From the desert comes a stranger. Welcome back to the Mando Bros channel, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, for more Star Wars content. Trying to grow our channel, so if you're a big Star Wars fan, welcome to the community, and let's get into this video breakdown. Oh my god. So we pretty much kick off with Cobb Vanth, man. I was hoping we are gonna see him eventually. We get to see him come back, and we get to see that the Pikes are spreading pretty far in Tatooine already, running the spice trade, and we see them talking about got some credits, and they have a little chest. And Cobb Vanth pretty much says, y'all, this is, I don't know what you think you're in with the city, but this is my territory. So you better dip, and we'll just call it like you're lost. And I was like, okay, my boy out here, he's a marshal out here, and ends up killing 3 of them and keeping the chest and letting one escape, trying to tell, the rest of the Pikes, like, hey, if you guys ever want to run through here, like, don't get lost or you're going to stay lost. And it turns out that the little chest actually contained spice. And even one of the Pikes were like, this is worth more than your little dumb village. Like, what are you doing? He says, well, I might retire. So he pretty much like stands up against the Pikes and kills 3 of them, and it just dumps all the spice and lets it just fly away. A really big fu to the Pike Syndicate. And I was thinking when I was watching this, there's got to be some kind of repercussions for this. They're not gonna let that slide. And now we fast forward to Mando. I didn't know they were gonna. Honestly, I was so surprised that they were gonna do this. He's flying out to see who. He's searching for our boy Grogu, who is getting trained by Luke. So as soon as he pulls up to the planet, we see our boy R2D2. Man, it was so nice to see him. It was so great to see him in the show, man. R2D2, man. One of my favorite droids out there. Ends up going, R2 shows him the way to where we see a bunch of little, like, 6-legged droids pretty much building a building out of stone, which we already know that is pretty much Luke's new Jedi Academy, where he begins to train the next generation of Jedi, which is so awesome. I was like, bro, that's the Academy. That is so dope. But as Luke is training Grogu, R2 pretty much says for him to sit down because it might be a while. So as Din proceeds to just chill, we get to see our little man Grogu, Baby Yoda, training with Luke. And I gotta say, first of all, amazing CGI. The deep fake for Luke definitely was better than in the season finale of The Mandalorian season 2. Definitely a lot better. Really, really well done. I truly, truly loved it. It was great. And we see, of course, Grogu trying to meditate and use the Force, but of course, our boy always gets distracted by them little frogs and is always hungry. And then we see Luke show him a little trick where he picks up literally all the frogs from the pond, but he notices that Grogu is still a little distracted, and distracted by his connection with Mando. And so I can already see from here at the way, Grogu's acting and the way, Luke sees him. He knows that he has a really strong connection, and there's a little bit of, distraction going on. We proceed to see, Luke pretty much train Grogu and start teaching him and showing him what's going on. And then we proceed to Ahsoka, man. I was not expecting Ahsoka to show up here, but she shows up too and pretty much says that R2 led Din to Ahsoka instead. As they begin to talk, Din is like, I'm here to see, Grogu. He was a Mandalorian foundling. I just want to make sure he's safe. I need to see him. I want to see him. I demand to see him. And of course, Ahsoka is saying, like, are you sure you're doing this for him, or are you doing this for yourself? Because she even states that if he were to see Din, it could prove a lot more challenging for Grogu because of his connection and his bond to Din, and she pretty much states that. And so Din pretty much hands Grogu's little gift, which is his little chainmail, which we all know is chainmail. I mean, we saw the little things. There wasn't gonna be no ear clippings of him being all emo or whatever. But he hands Ahsoka the gift, and he flies away. And then we proceed to see, this is a great callback. Honestly, a great callback to when Luke trained with Yoda. It's the same when he has little Grogu in his back as he's running and doing flips like he was doing with Yoda back in the day. And I was like, bro, this is so cool. We're getting such a huge throwback, to the original trilogy, to the prequels, and the last episode as well. So it's like, I love seeing these Easter eggs and these amazing throwbacks that we see as he jumps around and is trying to teach Grogu, the way of the Force. And he pulls out the training droid. Oh man, I love that little training droid. I love it in the VR too. Those are tough, trust me. Try playing VR and that training droid will whoop your ass. And we finally get to see the Force jump just like Yoda as Grogu is training and eventually destroys the little sphere. And we see Ahsoka and Luke. Ahsoka gives Luke pretty much Din's gift for Grogu. But we also get to see how Luke is a little, not confused, but like just he's unsure of what to do with Grogu, and it's awesome. It's great to see that because it's like it's like Ahsoka is also a really powerful Jedi, but she chooses not to do to train or do anything like that. And Luke is still he's a master. He's a very well trained Jedi, but he's still not sure what's going on, and must trust in the Force to know what to do to help Grogu. After that, we get this transition back to Tatooine, where we see Din go to the palace, Boba's new palace, and he goes up when we see the mob, the cyborgs, the Power Rangers, everybody calls, and we see Black Chrysanthemum, and we see Boba Fett and Fennec as they're looking at a map of the Mos Espa, and once Din shows up, Fennec pretty much says with Din and Chrysanthemum, now they actually have like the experience to really go out and prepare for this war, but they still need some manpower. They need some foot soldiers, and so Din takes off to see Cobb Vrath again. He pulls up, and we see he's got a new deputy with him, and he begins to talk about how eventually the Pikes are gonna be everybody's problem. Even though he knows that they're both square, and how, Cobb pretty much misses the armor a lot. And he pretty much states it when he says that, Grogu's with his people. They say, oh, we both lost something we both adored. And as they share a drink, the city is now called Free City. They changed the name. And pretty much Din says, hey, I'm just asking for a favor. I know we're square, so I'm asking for a favor. And so as they're talking, Cobbs pretty much says, I'll think about it and I'll let you know. And Din flies away. And also, I forgot to mention, as Din is flying to see Cobb, he also sees the Jawa ship with the giant dragon skull on top. I thought that's another huge throwback to season 2, episode 1 of the book of the Mandalorian. It was so awesome. You see him with the giant skull on top of there, just cheering, waving at Din. And also in the bar, if you guys didn't notice, Eagle Heart pointed it out that the bar also has the rib cage of that, I would assume would be that dragon too, inside that bar as decoration, which was beautiful. As Din leaves, and I tell you, I freaked out so much for this. We see a shadowy figure begin to walk towards the city. And as this figure gets closer and closer, it is the one and only Cad Bane in live action. You guys know how, oh man, everybody was throwing theories. Everybody wanted to see Cad Bane, and he is finally here. Cad Bane is here in live action, hired by the Pikes, because this is the repercussions from the beginning of the episode. And I love the Western, man. I know Cod has fast hands, but at the end of the day, it turned out that our boy Cad Bane had the fastest hands in Tatooine. Shot Cobb once, but definitely murdered the deputy. He blasted him up, and he made a statement. As long as y'all stay low and let the spice flow, y'all will be okay. And he also states to Cobb that that Boba Fett used to work for the Empire. He used to work for the Empire. So we know he still remembers that old fight that was never brought up to life. The Cad Bane versus Boba Fett fight. And the reason why Boba Fett has that one dent in his armor. Are we going to see in the season finale a versus again? The rematch that we've all been waiting for, that we've never seen brought to life. The first match, but we get to see the rematch. I hope we see a rematch. We got to see them fight. There's no way about it. We got to see Cad Bane and Boba Fett fight. I don't care. They got to do it now that they brought him into the series. And oh my God, beautiful. Cad Bane looks beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we see the Pikes with what we assume to be like an offering, because we saw he had coins in there before in that little pot as they go into the bar with the Twi'leks. And they order something. Everybody's looking, they try to be, offer, their services to clean their helmets and everything like they did with Boba. But they refuse and they walk away. And as they walk away, they say, "Oh, you forgot your little thing." And as the female Twi'lek turns around to see, it's a bomb and it explodes the bar, pretty much declaring war to Boba Fett as he destroys the bar, because it was under Boba Fett's, control, under his protection, and they blew it up, pretty much insinuating the war for the next episode, that they say, "We're ready to fight, bring it on." And man, oh, that's some great build-up for the finale. Oh man, the finale is gonna be so good. It's gotta come in hitting hard. We gotta really see this come hard. I don't want this to be, I don't want it to be like rushed. That's my only thing, because I love what they did with Luke, and I love what, with the Mando and everything. It was great. I love that Eagle Heart had a great point saying that it could potentially lead up to season 3. We could see Din and Boba also be involved in season 3. So I just hope this finale is not going to be rushed and we get to see the war really play out against Boba Fett and the Pike Syndicate. And maybe we can see the Crimson Dawn eventually. That could be a great little cameo at the end. And to finish off the episode, we see that Luke lays out a little cloth and he shows, the chain link Mandalorian Beskar armor for Grogu. And Grogu was going to grab it right off the bat because like, "Oh, that's my boy Din." But then he's like, "Wait, before you grab it." And he pulls out Master Yoda's lightsaber. Bro, how does he have Master Yoda? Oh, well, he was with him at the end. I'm dumb. He has Master Yoda's lightsaber, and he said, "This is Master Yoda's lightsaber, and I give it to you, but you have to make a choice. You choose the armor, you go back to the Mandalorian, and you risk, having these deep connections, and we all know about, Jedi having connections with others could lead to the dark side." Or you keep the lightsaber and I train you and you be my first student in my Jedi Academy and I will train you to be the best Jedi ever, but you could possibly never see the Mando ever again. What is your choice? And we're left with that big cliffhanger of Grogu making the choice whether he's going to become a Jedi or is he gonna take the armor. What do you guys think? Like I want to see Grogu as a Jedi. But honestly, I would love to see him choose the armor and go with Mando. And there's this great picture floating around the internet just say about Grogu in like Mandalorian armor and stuff. And there was a Mandalorian Jedi. So there's got to be a good little mix. I hope they do something like that with Grogu eventually. But what are you guys' thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the episode in general? I thought it was an amazing episode. I thought it was great. Again, my only concern was I just hope that they don't rush the season finale. But besides that, 10 out of 10. I loved it. Let me know your favorite part. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel so far. We're trying to keep growing our Star Wars community. So welcome, and may the Force be with you, for this is the way. Thank you, everybody.